When the first time I met Ira to talk about the script, I said, it would be so wonderful to just not feel the need to act. That's how I reacted to the script.
John and I have been on, and Marissa, we've been talking about the film since it opened in Sundance, and I always disagree with him at this moment, because to me that's great acting. that you know, I can't be myself on screen and make it compelling, and it's not yourself. That it's just a different register, and I think that's where, as actors, you all really met on this film to kind of do something that was pulling something that was complex and authentic. I think you know your lines well and deeply, and you have to internalize those lines, and that's a lot of work that an actor does off stage. And then you become aware of what different actors need, and different actors do need subtle differences within the day of production. So, you know, in some films, one actor will be really prime on take 3, and you know someone else really gets going around take 7, and so you'll start with the close-up on the actor who's going to burn out earlier, and the other actor has the time to build. So you're attending to those kind of differences in a space. You really want to give the actors whatever they need. As I said, the dialogue is pretty strict, and we follow the script, but there's a level of emotional improvisation that happens that is very exciting to observe. And there's a couple of scenes in the film that are created in silence. Perhaps one of the most significant is the scene with the boy at the end. All of these are places where the dialogue disappears, and yet I feel like these are incredible performers who are able to sort of write paragraphs for you as an artist within those spaces, and that's something that I really love to observe, and I think audiences do too, because I think they can it's very intimate. Those are private moments, and there's a kind of privilege you feel when it's done so well to be close to them. So that's a good question. I cast well. That's the beginning. And I try, I do actually create for my actors timelines. So in single pages, which are narratives that we can all look at, because you don't shoot in order, to remember where you came from and where you're going, where the scene, where was the last time we saw you as a character, and then what's going to happen next. So you have a sense of place that's important in your own story. So I think the film Love is Strange is really about the, strange being a kind of Shakespearean term for magical and unique. And I really try to understand the unique place that each character in the film, whatever the size of their role, has within that moment. Then there's this kind of, I certainly didn't get Marissa into, I didn't say very much to say, she knew that it was a complicated situation, and she knew that it was a complicated marriage and her complicated observations, but I don't want to talk about it, because then they're going to be playing the things we discuss. What I do when I cast leads, and I don't think I've told you guys, I watch a lot of YouTube. It's very interesting what you can reveal in things like this. Like if I found this online, I'm going to have a really good sense of who these people are.
So this is our audition for our next movie.
It's the last one of these you ever did. Never thought of that.
No, really. I mean, you can get to know. It's like being with an actor in a room. So and I want to cast people, not actors. So I do that with my leads, and I want to see. Obviously, I need to know their work as well. With the other actors, it's pretty conventional in the sense that I do sides, and they read the sides, but I never cast anyone who doesn't 100% nail it in the audition, because I never assume that I can get anyone, any actor of any experience, from a non-professional to these kind of actors. I can't teach them anything that's going to make them a different kind of actor. It's all got to be there. I don't rehearse in a conventional way, but we do talk a lot. And Marissa and I met and talked about the script individually. I never like to hear the lines read before we start shooting. So there's something that happens on the set, which is what you get to experience in the audience, which is I hope has some connections to real life and how real life feels. I just want to add one thing in case anyone wants to try this at home, which is I block the scenes. And we do the blocking on the location on the day of the shoot, and then you end up shooting those scenes, you know, different takes, different sizes. You shoot 20 or sometimes 30 times. So you're not, and you're developing action, and you're refining, and you're making adjustments, and you're doing all the things that one would do within a rehearsal. It's just happening in the same time. So there's not a lot of time for, what I don't want is a lot of time for reflection, because that's not how we live our lives. So I don't want people to, you know, I feel that the words motivation and subtext should be banned from a film set, truthfully, because those are not how we live. And so I'm trying to capture something that happens that is unspeakable between people. It can't be said.
And you also gave us you also always asked us if we wanted another take.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Which is just, he would say he has everything he needs, but if you want to do it again.
I always feel like you don't know what an actor can give you, and if they know something that they'd like to try, I've never said no to another take. It just doesn't make any sense to me, because you don't actually know what that thing that might happen that last time, if someone feels they have something else that they want to express.
Is there something that you deliberately left them to figure out on their own after all of this discussion and
everything? Really. I mean, and I think I'm very attentive, and I take care of my actors with great care, and I think what they're doing is very precious and unique. These people, particularly. So I'm like a therapist. I'm really paying attention, but they're creating the characters within the construct of the world that we've created, which is production design and costume design and background acting and all these kind of things, and the script, which is guiding this kind of larger blueprint. They're filling in everything.
And a very, very precise script, which the only thing that was improvised was the Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yeah.
Because that's how you play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.